Hey guys, Puppy Cannon here. Just thought I'd do a quick review of my GT Transeo. I thought it would be nice for anybody who's looking at the bike, and I appreciate everyone else's reviews as they put them online so that I can look at them. So I thought I'd throw this up there for you guys. I'm just going to kind of go over it quickly, just the basic features on the bike, not get real in-depth into it, and then maybe my recommendation if you're thinking about buying it. The first thing is it is a hybrid. It's pretty much a mountain bike with road tires on it. As you see, they've got the 700 wheels on there, and these are a lot more aggressive than what some of the hybrids have. More so than what I'd normally seen on other bikes. The rims are pretty durable, being 700s. They are decent. I actually did run right into a log while I had this on a mountain bike trail, and I did not damage them at all. I bottomed out the suspension and almost went over the handlebars, and then they're still fine. So they are tough. They don't get enough traction off-road though. It's nowhere near what you're going to need. They're acceptable, but if you're not on packed dry dirt or pavement, it's just not going to cut it. It does have suspension travel. It's a little bit less than what you normally want. I think it's about an 80 as opposed to I think about 100 that you get on a mountain bike. It's acceptable, also not quite what you'd want for off-road use. It's adjustable, and it does have this lockout here, which is nice for when you want to ride on the road. It does lock the suspension pretty much solid. I find that I don't actually use it a whole lot. I either ride it solid most of the time, or I have the suspension on all the time. So it's not really accessible as you're riding. In order to flip this while you're moving, you have to get your weight up off the bike, so you almost have to hop the bike and reach down and flip that, which is a little difficult to do while you're riding. The bar ends, the caps fell out pretty much as soon as I started riding it. I don't know if you can see this, but the handlebar is already starting to wear apart. The grip is coming off. I was a little disappointed with that. I added the horn. I do use this to commute to work with. It is a very heavy bike to commute with, being that it is pretty much a mountain bike with a different wheel set on it. I like the frame. It's really nice. The only problems you're going to run into is they don't use a round frame on these triple triangle frames. So there's a flat edge right here. And when you try to mount accessories like this, they don't sit flush. So I actually had to flip this upside down in order to get it to mount correctly, which means it's more difficult to put a water bottle there, so I had to move the water bottle and stick it against the back there. I didn't really care for that, but this is a very strong frame, so that's kind of the trade-off for the weight. It is kind of tricky. If you want to put accessories on it, you're probably not going to really enjoy trying to find stuff that will fit around this. It's almost like a kind of a diamond shape on the top, like the top edge of a diamond. Makes it kind of odd when you're trying to mount accessories, because most of them are designed for a circular frame. This horn is air zone, by the way, and it works great. I absolutely love it. What else do we have here? Like I said, the suspension's real heavy. It's got the Tektro brakes on it. They're absolutely awesome. I have them on my mountain bike. If you're not looking into getting into a hydraulic brake, they work really spectacular. Let me see if I can get this for you. When I first bought the bike, they weren't adjusted properly. They were applying constantly, and they actually did heat up on I believe it was the rear, and started squealing all the time. So I took it back. I was a little disappointed. I had to complain about it a couple of times. And finally the manager just put new pads on it for me, and I haven't had a problem since then. Shifter, everything works great. The only problem I found is it is a very harsh shifting bicycle. As you're pedaling, when you change gears, it just slams through the gears. So if you're used to road bikes, you're probably not going to like this bike, because it's heavy, it's harsh when you shift. I mean, it's a little tough. As far as taking it mountain biking, it just doesn't quite have what you need from a mountain biking perspective. So I kind of think it's one of those things where it's supposed to do everything, but it's just not really good at anything. I wanted to show you this real quick. I mounted these fenders on here and ran into an issue. This is the cable right here going down to control the shifting. It actually hits this, and without this zip tied on, every time you use it, it will pop this off, and then your fender will start bouncing off the tire here, which is kind of annoying. So I actually had to zip tie this, and now the cable just kind of slides across the inside edge here. But another little annoyance with the way that everything mounts. And of course the reflector started falling off after I started riding it, so I had to fix that. Overall, it works for what I use it for. I might get a like saddlebags for it or something, because I do ride it around town to run errands. But it is a very heavy bike. It is kind of a pain. What I've found is if you're used to road bikes, you're probably going to want something lighter. Maybe more of a road bike type of a bike to ride if you're looking for a commuter. If you are into mountain biking, you might as well just get a 29er mountain bike. I would probably be happier with a 29er with a hybrid tire, maybe a on-road, off-road tire, just because I prefer mountain bikes, and I've ridden this bike on mountain bike trails and it is quite scary. You just don't have the turning capability with the thinner wheels, and it's really hard to get traction. I actually had to lean so hard on the back of the bike to get the rear wheel to grab that I was pulling the front end off while I was trying to go uphill. So, and these are pretty aggressive. Let me see if I can get a tire size on here. Yeah, 700 by 40C tires. You probably can't see it on there. 700 by 40. They seem to be a little more aggressive. I think most of them are 700 by 35 or something like that. So, like I said, if you're into mountain bikes, you're probably going to be happier with a 29er. If you're into road bikes, you're probably going to be happier with more of a designated road bike, because the suspension is not really necessary if you're on the road a lot, and it does add a lot of weight. Overall, I'm not real impressed with the GT. I probably wouldn't buy another one. For me, it's just it was a little too much for what I got. I think that the cost trade-off just wasn't really worth it, and I'm just not really a big fan of the triple triangle frame overall. But it does work for me. I do love the color. The style of the bike's really nice. It's just a little harsh. If I was riding it long distances for my commute, I probably would have been pretty sick of it by now. But if you're looking for a hybrid and you really like hybrids and you really like GT bikes, then go for it. It is a nice bike then. But like I said, from my personal experience, if you're into mountain bikes, you'll probably be happier with a 29er with a tire with a flat edge on the inside for road. I hope this was helpful if anybody's looking at buying it, if anybody's looking into hybrids. And again, if you have no preference and you're just looking for a first bike and you want something with front suspension, you may also want to look into a cruiser bike or maybe even a comfort bike. I went with the mountain bike. You do with the mountain bike style because I sit higher. I actually sit higher than most motorcycles that pull up alongside me. But this bike is actually a medium size. Being that the wheels are bigger, it sits a little higher. I normally ride a large in a 26-inch wheeled mountain bike. I'm about 6'1", and I stood over a large on the hybrid and I couldn't even really ride it. It was just too tall. So if you are looking at a hybrid, you might want to go down a frame size if you're used to mountain bikes. I couldn't tell you the relation to a road bike because I just don't have a lot of experience with it. So I hope this was helpful, and if you like it, give me good feedback. Maybe I'll throw the Diamond back out there so you guys can see the mountain bike. All right, I'll talk to you later, guys. Take it easy.